Hello guys, good afternoon. You're watching Cricket Next Live. I am Akash Biswas and today we are here to discuss about the first match of the Champions Trophy 2025 Group B, which will be between Afghanistan and South Africa. Well, it's going to be a rematch, we can say, of the ICC T20 World Cup semi-final because the Afghanistan-South Africa rivalry go a long way back. Both teams have been in top forms, especially Afghanistan. The way they played in the 2023 World Cup, the way they made strides in the T20 World Cup, and now they are up against their old nemesis South Africa. And we are just a few seconds away, in fact, from the toss. And once that is done, we will also discuss the playing 11s of both the teams, how the teams will look like, how their bowling and their batting departments will look like. We'll discuss all about them one by one. And joining me in this discussion is our sports editor Vineet Ramakrishnan. So, good afternoon, Vineet. Welcome to the discussion. Well, it's the first game of Group B, Afghanistan versus South Africa. And what we have seen in the past couple of years, Afghanistan has made a massive leap in international cricket from, once considered as just a rookie side, and now they are among these eight nations who have been competing for an ICC title. What's your take on this upcoming contest?
First of all, as you started with Afghanistan, what were they considered a few years back? Look, this is going to be their first ever ICC Champions Trophy. That tells a lot about how much Afghanistan have grown. This is the top eight teams in the world who play cricket that you are mentioning here. So great kudos for Afghanistan and this is a group wherein you cannot take any teams lightly, be it England, Australia, South Africa, or Afghanistan. For me, I'll take a bold call. If I'm looking at the two semi-finalists from this group, this could be these two teams. So this match becomes even more important, kind of a deal breaker, a match in this entire group. Whoever wins this definitely will have a great chance, heading into the semi-finals. Because look, Australia are pretty much a B-string side. England, we saw how they were, very much clueless in terms of ODI cricket, especially against India. I mean, that was against India, but then again, they just don't seem to find that balance. Afghanistan, on the other hand, have been in terrific form in ODI cricket. They won what four bilateral series in their last five of them, even though it was against one, two of them were Ireland and Zimbabwe, but they have been the team in form. On the other hand, South Africa, this is the first time in a long time you're getting to see their first choice white ball players come together. There were injury concerns here or there or here or there. They were also in the transitioning phase, trying out a lot of new players, including Matthew Bretsky and others. So this is going to be an evenly matched contest, even more so because now you're playing in Karachi. It's a belter. You saw the first opener against Pakistan versus New Zealand what it was going to be, but in the second innings, bowling, really took over. It was tough. Afghanistan have spinners, that is their strategy. South Africa have pacers and hard hitters, that is their strategy. So it is going to be the clash of strategies as well. And as you mentioned, that T20 World Cup semi-final also would be lingering there. Afghanistan, by no account, you can take them lightly. This is going to be a very even contest.
At least we can expect that because the rivalry that has been between Afghanistan and South Africa in the past few months, or for say for the 6 8 months, we have seen they, come at a point when they fight with all their intent. Well, the news from the center here is that South Africa has won the toss and opted to bat first. And Vineet, as you just said, that what we saw in the first game between Pakistan and New Zealand, the kind of a track that Karachi is offering, you know how good or bad is that a decision that South Africa will be batting first?
Good decision that went in favor of South Africa, to be honest. They would not have wanted to bat second on this track because you saw in that New Zealand Pakistan game how the New Zealand spinners were able to really, bind or really choked the Pakistan batters. Of course, it's another discussion that Pakistan batters did not show the intent. But then again, playing spinners on that second innings would have been very difficult. So a logical decision for by Temba Bavuma that if he had won the toss, he would have definitely wanted to bat first and put as many runs on the board as possible. There is not much of due factor. Also, we saw so there's not going to be like extra advantage. The only advantage for Afghanistan now batting second or bowling second would be the fact. Or I'm sorry, I'm confusing here. Yeah, of course they are batting first, bowling. The only advantage Afghanistan probably had would have been that if they had bowled second was their spinners would have come into play. Now with them bowling first, that is pretty much negated now, and South Africa would be looking to get some big runs and really choke out Afghanistan with their pace attacks. Good decision by Temba Bavuma. Good toss to win for South Africa also.
Good toss, good toss to win by South Africa as well. And as we what we heard in the toss when Hashmatullah Shahidi was speaking at the toss presentation, he also said that they would also have batted first. That means that that tracks in Karachi is tempting the teams to go out and just go all guns blazing, score as many runs as they can. Well, now if we speak about the South African side, the past, once again I will speak about the past year. It has been a terrific one. They stormed into the finals of the ICC T20 World Cup, which obviously they lost in a nail biter event. Now that they have also made it to the WTC final, and now they are competing once again in an ICC event where they are coming from uh, a decent try series against Pakistan and New Zealand, but big responsibility, massive responsibility on the shoulders of Temba Bavuma. And I think if they at least win this, the South Africa cricket is gonna install a statue of Bavuma in one of their cricket cricket centers. You have just returned from South Africa after covering the SA20. What was the atmosphere there? How passionate the fans are there, especially when South Africa is getting into an ICC event?
You mentioned about me being there at SAT20. That was the one thing that I pretty much, stood out for me, the passion of the fans. And this was something Graham Smith, the league commissioner and former South African cricketer, also mentioned that for some reason, somehow after that COVID period, they've been able to bring in fans back to cricket. The fans who probably turned their back towards cricket when things were not going right for South African cricket, they were able to bring in the fans back. It could be the SAT20, and look at the recent results as well. Guys like Aiden Markram or P. Temba Bauma, Kagi Sorabada, their performances, their results as well, making it to the semi-finals of the 2023 World Cup, making it to the finals of the T20 World Cup. Now they are into the World Test Championship final as well. The women's team doing exceedingly well. They were in the finals of the T20 World Cup. The under 19 women were in the finals of the under 19 World Cup versus India. So everything is going right for them, and they probably have found a mixture, a feeder system wherein they are getting in good players. So any big player is not there, they don't have to worry too much to who would they be able to replace. So for South Africa, the momentum is there, the upward momentum is definitely there, and the only thing that is missing now is how do they manage to win those crunch matches or crunch games. So it is too far away now to talk about it. This is a tournament opener for them, but they are always a strong side, isn't it? Always the team you look out for, when you play against them, and there is going to be no different for these guys. Looking from a historic perspective, look, South Africa, if they won ICC trophy, it is this championship. It was known as the ICC Knockout way back in 1998, so they know how to win it. I know the context is different from 1998 to 2024, but if at all, if you need some extra added motivation, that could be the fact that what, we have won this, we have not choked here, so maybe let's go ahead and do it again after what, 2 or 3 decades. But again, a very strong South African side. But we are hearing, and I think the update is Heinrich Klaasen is not playing because of an injury. So that is a massive blow, because I was thinking if anybody who can tackle the Afghanistan spinners is Klaasen, because Klaasen is predominantly a back foot player, and on the Karachi pitch, when the ball doesn't spin viciously. It spins, but it is a slow spin. And for a back foot player, it becomes quite easy. He has that extra 1 second, 2 second to really go on the back foot and judge where to hit the ball. So Klaasen not being there would be a major blow. And of course, he's been their biggest match winner, best player. So it'll be interesting to see how South Africa go ahead and proceed with it. You mentioned Tamba Bauma. Look, he's been under flag. He's received a flag a lot of times, but remember, heading into the 2023 World Cup, he was their best batter in terms of stats, right? He put in those performances, even though those performances did not come into the 2023 World Cup itself. Then he was out with an injury. He has come back, and he's been a consistent ODI performer, to be honest. Alongside somebody like Tony DeZorzi, I saw him in SAT20. He's a fantastic player. Somebody in that Shikhar Dhawan kind of mold, carefree kind of an approach, but he gets things done. So it's a very strong batting unit, despite the fact that you might be missing a Heinrich Klaassen. So yeah, South Africa is going to go gung ho here. For Afghanistan, yeah, the onus is on Rashid Khan and their spinners Noor Ahmed and others to really stem that flow of run and hope Rahman Al Gurpaz and Ibrahim Zadran, who's coming back after a long injury layoff, also really give them the start. But to start off with, South Africa, I think will be looking to get some big runs, 320, 340. They'll be aiming.
Absolutely. And as you spoke about well, before we move forward, the picture that we are showing to our viewers is from the ODI series that South Africa and Afghanistan played last year in the month of September in the UAE. Well, and Afghanistan won it 2-1. And now, coming back to the discussion, Vineet, you spoke about the spinning tracks. So here is the Afghanistan playing 11 that's been scrolling at the bottom of our screen. Rahmanullah Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran, Sadiqullah Atal, Rahmat Shah, Hashmatullah Shahidi, their skipper, Azmatullah Omarzai, Gulbuddin Naib, Mohammad Nabi, Rashid Khan, Fazal Farooqi, and Noor Ahmed. Well, the Spain trio of Nabi, Rashid, and Noor Ahmed, they are class apart. What they have done, the white ball cricket we have already seen. Now, what do you expect them today against South Africa?
The expectation is as their game plan is quite simple. They have a very good new ball bowler in Fazal ul Haq Faruqi, who gives you wickets right at the top, and that's what they would be expecting if they are able to, if Fazal ul Faruqi is able to get that, open up the top order and get a couple of wickets, and then it is a spinner's game. Then it'll be very difficult for the middle order to really, step up, and without that kind of a bank or the base set. So that is their strategies, as simple as that. You also have a lot of bowling options in Azmatullah Omarzai. Gulbuddin Naib is also a proper all-rounder. He can bowl you 8, 9 overs. There's no dearth of bowling options if you look at that. Nabi, Rashid, Fazal, and Noor Ahmed, you expect them to complete their quota of 40 overs, and you have an Omarzai, Naib, and even somebody like yeah, these two guys. So enough bowling options. But for me, the thing would be Fazal ul Faruqi with the new ball. If he can get early Jodes in that South Africa top order, that would be big boost. And we can also see that this, because Heinrich Klaassen is not playing, it's Ryan Rickelton who has gotten in a game, and he will be opening. He is your opener material. So Temba Bauma comes in at number three, Rasi at four, Markham at five. So that becomes now very interesting. How Temba Bauma handles himself at number three. You have somebody like a Rasi, Van der Dussen, Aiden Markham, all good players, but they would be tested against the spin of Rashid, Nabi, and Ahmed. And that's what I said at the start of the show. It is going to be the Afghanistan spinners versus the South African middle order, and that is where the game would be defined for me.
Well, that would be an interesting matchup, I must say. Well, on that note, let's have also a look on the South Africa playing 11 viewers that has been flashing at the bottom of our screen. Ryan Rickalton, the wicketkeeper batter, opening up there with Tony Dizzozi, Temba Bavuma, the captain at number three. Then Rassi van der Dussen, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Ryan Mulder, Marco Jansen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, and Lungi Ngidi. Well, we need the. I think the bowling combination looks interesting here because they have pretty much covered up, and what I can say, too much dependency on Keshav Maharaj once again. Is that the case?
I don't think so too much dependency of Keshav Maharaj, because we have to agree to the fact that South Africa don't have any, lot of spin options. Keshav Maharaj has been a terrific player for South Africa. So has been Tabesh Shamsi. So, but their lineup or their structure is said that they rely on their paces. Look at that pace bowling unit. You have a Kagiso Rabada, you have a Lungi Ngidi, Marco Jansen, then you have the all-rounder Ryan Mulder as well. So this will be very difficult to look beyond these three or four candidates. They are missing Henrik Nortje also, by the way, who's out injured with and won't be playing the Champions Trophy. So there's not much room for spinners, in that South African unit. So Keshav Maharaj, it's always Keshav Maharaj or Tabraiz Shamsi, and we have seen South Africa going with Keshav Maharaj for the longer formats and not much of Tabraiz Shamsi in the 20 over. But again, from the makeup, it's as simple as that. I mean, you rely on pace, you rely on Keshav Maharaj to give you that, holding overs in the middle. Maybe, we'll see Aiden Markram also bowling a few overs, just to give complete that quota of 50 if at all it goes that way. But yeah, Kagiso, Lungi, and Gidi, Marco Janssen, these are your three strike, proper, genuine strike bowlers. And South Africa are playing to their strength. It's as simple as that. Just because they're playing in the subcontinent condition of Karachi or Dubai, they don't really want to bring in that we play to the condition and see bring in the spinners. They have George Linde, who's a very good spinner who had a very good SAT 20 as well. But again, playing to their strength is what South Africa is doing here, and that should be the way forward for them for any team in fact.
Well, once again, I would like to say that I think South Africans are gonna experience. I mean, experiment with their pace and spin combination on a track which has been batting friendly. What we saw in the first game just a couple of days back, and now if we compare both the playing 11s, right? Both I think both of them have backing their strengths. Afghanistan, we know they are known for the quality of spin they bring in, and now South Africa here, Marco Jansen, Kagiso Rabada and Lugi Ngidi, all those star pacers are there. How exciting this matchup is going to be, especially when both teams are playing in a neutral venue, at least for them. Away from their home.
Yeah, it will be very exciting. As you mentioned, I mean, these two teams did play in the UAE, where Afghanistan really notched up that series 2-1. But remember that South Africa's side were missing a lot of their first choice players, and this is what I said at the top of the show as well. This South African side, they have their, pretty much the first choice players who they want to see. Of course, Heinrich Clausen is not there, but you're getting it replaced by somebody like a Ryan Rickleton, who had been an absolute fire in international circuit. What triple hundreds in Test, he's getting hundreds in ODIs, SAT 20. He was one of the leading run getters for his team, MIK Brown, who were the eventual winners. Tony Zorzi was part of the Sunrisers Eastern Cape, who played the final. So it's fantastic, informed players that South Africa has. It is going to be, as I said, this is going to be the match which will define the later stages of this group. Not Australia, not England. This is going to be that match. And for me, as I said, these are the two teams who I am betting my money on making it to the semi-finals from this group. So this is going to be a crucial game, and as I said, it is going to be an evenly contested game. Pakistan, New Zealand, we expected to be evenly contested. It was not to be. Bangladesh, India, we expected it to be one-sided. It became one-sided. So this could be the first Champions Trophy game where we see, as we put it, Kartiki Takkar.
Well, will it be a Kartiki Takkar or not? That we'll get to know 10 minutes later when the action unfolds at the National Stadium in Karachi. Well, now if we speak about the Afghanistan, batting lineup, they have something. Rahmanullah Gurbaz coming up right there in the top of the order, and he's someone that the Afghanistan and the performance of the entire Afghanistan team have somewhere down the line have relied heavily on him, especially when it comes to giving good starts. And I think he recently scored 100 as well in the ODI. So do you think that's gonna be key for Afghanistan's batting in this particular fixture?
That has always been the case in terms of when you look at Afghanistan, you just talk about the bowlers, right? Predominantly Mohammad Davi, predominantly Rashid Khan. You talked about pacers like Shahpur Zakran and others. Afghanistan never really had a proper, top order batter or proper, top class batter until Rahmanullah Gurbaz came into the fold, and he's been on fire. So yeah, he becomes a very very vital cog in that lineup, Rahmanullah Gurbaz, because he's a class act. That's with no denying that his stats, his numbers, pretty much show what he does. But more than that, that combination with Ibrahim Zadran is what really clicked for them in the 2023 World Cup, the ODI format that they played. And now with Zadran coming back after a long injury layoff, he had a left ankle issue or something. He is coming back, so that makes a very potent lineup in terms of Gurbaz and Zadran. And they, if they can provide you the start, then the likes of Naima Shah, Hizmatullah Sahidi, or Omar Zaid, they know how to build on that, and that's what they have been doing in the past 1.5 years. So that I'm very much interested to see Gurbaz, but more so it is Ibrahim Zadran's return. Again, a very class act coming in. And also you have the rookie Sadiqullah Atal, only what 5 ODIs old. He is being groomed into that very crucial number three position. He's also an attacking aggressive player. So all in all, there's a lot of interesting names, a lot of interesting players to look forward to in this Afghanistan unit. And again, as I mentioned, bowling has always been their key strength, but with the batters like Gurbaz, Adran coming in, and some veterans like Ahmad Shah, Hashmatullah Shahidi still in the fold and giving you vital contributions, this looks a very, very solid team of Afghanistan, especially in the subcontinental conditions.
And speaking a bit more about this Afghanistan, this batting lineup, I think we have been speaking about it could be the last ICC Champions Trophy or a last ICC event for the likes of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. When we speak about the Indian team, I think the same goes with Mohammad Nabi, who has been one of the veteran faces of this team. I don't know. He has been playing for Afghanistan since ages. He has seen the struggle of this particular cricket team from rising from the ashes, I would say. And now, when he comes as a classic all rounder, as a veteran all rounder, uh, how do you see his role? Being important for this team, especially when they are competing in an ICC event.
You know, Nabi first played ODIs in 2009, and we are talking about 2024. And he's 40 years old, doesn't look 40-year-old. But look, the greatest thing for me in terms of what Muhammad Nabi has been able to achieve is not that what he has been able to achieve, but what he has been able to make this team out. He was your de facto captain for a long time. His nickname is the President, right? Yet, yet he's been for the last 3, 4, 5 years playing under the captaincies of Rashid Khan. He's played under the captaincies of now Hashmatullah Shahidi. So he doesn't have that kind of an ego issue where he's a senior most guy. Everybody should look at me. No, he's a team man. That's what you can see here. That even now he's more than happy to contribute to the Afghanistan side. As I said, he was the longest, I think, a captain in terms of time, in terms of years for Afghanistan. Yet, he took that decision that okay, there are other future captaincy material, there are players who should be promoted, but I'll still be around, I'll still play, and for at least for the next 5 to 6 years, when you have so many young players coming up in the Afghanistan side, he's still able to make his place in that 11. Speaks volumes about the skill this guy has even at the age of 40. uh, could this be his last ICC tournament? Could very well be, or maybe not. He 2 days back he said that he dreams of playing alongside his son, who's also coming up in that Afghanistan player circuit. So that could be one motivation for him to hang around. But again, he's not hanging around there. Let me put it that way. He deserves his place there. And as I said, Afghanistan team with such new exciting young talents coming in, for Mohammad Nabi to hold on to his place, speaks volumes of the guy's skill set, his commitment to the team, and he's a team guy, complete team guy. You look at him and you are in awe in certain ways that wow, he's been going on for such a long time with no egos, nothing. More than happy to help out his youngsters, be it Rashid, be it Hashmatul Shahidi or others. I'm sure he's like looked at as a father figure by most of the Afghanistan players who are currently playing, because that such is the age difference or age gap.
Well, and one more player I would like to talk about here, since we are discussing about this Afghanistan playing 11 and the players, those who have contributed to the rise of Afghanistan cricket team. I think the gentleman here on our screen, the captain of the team, Hashmatullah Shahidi, what I believe about him is one of the unsung heroes of Afghanistan cricket team, because the rise we have seen. Right, and Hashmatullah is someone who comes to bat in the middle order, but I think that credit has not been given to this particular cricketer. I think that credit is due for him. What would you like to say about this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there are two players that again kind of are unsung heroes are Ahmed Shah and Hashmatullah Shahidi. They again as you mentioned they become not they don't get noticed as much because you have somebody like Rashid Khan who picks up what five overs or six overs for fun, and you know all the accolades and everything go to him. And now we are talking about the guys like Rahmanullah Gurbaz or Ibrahim Zadran. Gurbaz of course has an IPL contract, plays the SAT20, plays leagues all around the world. Ibrahim Zadran again a very enterprising player, but you need to have players who are calm and composed, and that is where somebody like Hashmatullah Shahidi comes in, or somebody like a Rahman Shah also comes in, and in that era also, if I'd like to add one more name to that unsung hero era who was very calm and composed but did his job was Najibullah Zadran, coming at number four, number five. So the core of what Nabi or a Rashid really, caught the spotlight. Again, it's cricket, right? One player or two player cannot win you matches. You need to have the other second set of players, who do their job. And the guys like Rahman Shah, guys like Shahidi, guys like Najibullah Zadran were able to do that. They were not really overawed by, the star power of a Rashid or a Nabi, but they knew what their job was and went about it in a very, very structured manner. And great to see somebody like Shahidi really getting rewarded for that consistency, and now he's the captain. There was a phase where Afghanistan did try somebody like Gulbuddin Naib, very mercurial character as the captain, didn't really work out. But look, Naib also is that in there in the team, so everybody understands what they need to do for the team, and that's the biggest thing. Someone like a Shahidi, as you rightly mentioned, unsung hero, but he's a captain, so everybody's noticing him at least from the Afghanistan setup. And yeah, a crucial role in that middle order in the 50 over format. Rahman Shah and Shahidi would play a very crucial role if they are given the opportunity, given the base, good base to really play as how they play by Gurbaz and Zadran at the top of the order. And again, this looks like a very formidable batting unit that way.
Well, on that note, let's also have a final look at the South Africa playing 11. Ryan Rickelton, Tony Rizzosi, Temba Bapuma, Rasibanda Dusan, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Ryan Mulder, Marco Jansen, Keshav Maharaj, Kagiso Rabada, and Lungi Ngidi. And we have been speaking about Klassen, so he has been ruled out of today's contest due to a left elbow soft tissue injury, and benching him was a precautionary measure. So, well, Vineet, before we wrap up this conversation, I would like to know that now that you have said that South Africa has made a very good decision of batting first, what gonna be their score, or what gonna be the target they're gonna set for Afghanistan?
Look, because we saw that how the New Zealand game panned out, batting first. Even though New Zealand were what in a strife for 60 for three or 70 for three, they still managed to go to 320, and not there was not that kind of eye popping innings. Will Young and Tom Latham just used the conditions to the maximum, and they just managed 320. Even there, they started hitting the 45th over also, they were 280 or something, and then managed to score runs. So there is runs on offer on this track if you start well. And I'm looking at this lineup, and Ryan Rickelton, just to give you an idea, Ryan Rickelton is in form because he was one of the leading run getters in SAT20. Tony Rizzosi again had an up and down season, but in the semi-final, I think he scored good runs. Rasi van der Dussen for MI Cape Town was the highest run getter behind Ryan Rickelton. Aiden Markram played that final in that Sunrisers Eastern Cape. He was the highest run getter there. So this is a team that is completely in form, and they'll enjoy the batting track of the fresher of the track, for the day. They'll enjoy it, and they will be aiming anywhere close to 330, 340. And if they are able to get to that score, then it will be very difficult for Afghanistan to really come to the party at that point in time. And it's not just about the top four. Everybody who you can see who bats, they can really bat it. It's not that he's a bowling all rounder who can bat. Marco Jansen is a proper bowler, new ball bowler, but he's a proper batter also. He has shown that. Ryan Mulder is pretty much in that same mode, and of course there is David Miller, Mark Raman. I've talked about Rassi Wanderdusen. The only thing for me here is again Temba Bauma, because he's in that mold where he brings in that anchor kind of a role. So how would he be able to tackle the spinners? Would he be bogged down, similar to what we saw with Babar Azam? That happened to him. If would that be the case, because he's now coming to bat at number three, he won't have the luxury of playing in the power play and getting a fast, a score. So bat Bauma at number three could be a problem for me looking at the South African lineup. I still would have loved to see Bauma open and maybe get in, you know, Tristan Stubbs there at number four, number five, than Ryan Rickleton. That would have given them a better lineup or shape to this lineup. But then again, yeah, I can't really complain that Rickleton is there and not Tristan Stubbs.
Okay, then. Well, information to our viewers as that the game has just begun, and how it will pan out will only come to know once the game gets underway. Well, before we wrap up, a piece of
Just
information for another or
before you wrap up, Akash, I'd like to tell our viewers who've joined in from Facebook a lot. We also are running a live stream for the scorecard as well. So on Facebook itself, you can head on to that stream as immediately after our live stream ends to watch that match, follow the match score live. Yeah, go ahead, Akash.
yeah, so please, viewers, please take a note of that. And also, one last stat before I wrap up this session: that since we speak about Mohammad Nabi, discuss, how long he has been serving this Afghanistan cricket team, and now at the age of 40, he becomes the oldest active cricketer to make a Champions Trophy debut. Well, that's an interesting fact. So let's see how this game pans out. But as of now, that's all from our side. Thank you, Vineet, so much for joining us, and to all viewers, do stay tuned for Cricket Next. Because we will keep on bringing such updates for you. But for now, it's a goodbye from my side. Thank you.